What's going on, everybody? With this holiday edition of Gameball NFL Endzone, of course, we're going to recap the top 4 matchups that happened in Week 15. In our second segment, after a big win by the Chicago Bears over their arch rival, the Green Bay Packers, are they the favorite to win the Super Bowl since 1985? And also, rarely do we hear the Patriots losing back-to-back games. Really? But with that being said, does that also mean that could be a sign that their dynasty is coming to an end? And of course, in Week 16, we'll give you the top 4 matchups to look out for. It's the Christmas edition of Gameball NFL Endzone, and it starts right now. And one more thing, Santa, kick it off. It's going down, baby. Holiday edition, Gameball NFL Endzone. Let's go. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. I'm Marcus Young, Genius Jenkins.
It's your boy, Michael Riley.
And of course, we're going to hold it down for our brother Luke Hartnett that couldn't be with us in the building again. But of course, as always, you guys' picks on deck. We got this. Salute to Luke Hartnett. We got you, man.
And on this Christmas edition, no way to celebrate the holidays with friends and family and football, of course. So let's get started on the recap of Week 15. Take it away, my brother.
All right, let's get it in. This matchup, of course, we're going to talk about a little bit later. But, of course, that's the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, unfortunately, will fall short at home to the Los Angeles Chargers. We'll get into that here momentarily. But the Dallas Cowboys.
I told you. I saw it coming. I told you. I'm going to make it short and sweet. That's why I say they are a bad luck in the making. That black cat came and cursed them, and they got cursed with 0 points.
And the thing for this game is, and this is what pun intended, for the Indianapolis Colts, it was all about football because Adam Vinatieri was all over that football field kicking them. 44 yards, 43 yards, 23 yards. Extra points. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was everywhere on that football field, and I mean the Dallas Cowboys. There's really no excuse for him in this one. The offense couldn't get it going. Ezekiel Elliott held in check. Dak Prescott couldn't get it going. I mean, both these quarterbacks didn't throw a touchdown, him or Andrew Luck, but then he also threw a crucial interception, which didn't help them at all. But.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about it another time, another day. Let's just go on to the facts. Not facts, but scores.
You know that he had because the Cowboys got stomped. It is what it is. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans, but that team was just terrible on Sunday. The Vikings, though, they would lose 41.
No, they wouldn't.
Or excuse me, they would win 41-17 in huge fashion. Now, this other game that we're going to talk about after the Chiefs and Chargers, the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. A big win for Pittsburgh. Definitely a defensive effort by both teams. We'll get into that in just a second. But this Kansas City Chiefs team coming up with a loss at home, to me, Mike, this game definitely looked as if, like most of the games, they kind of find ways to beat themselves. Mm-hmm. The signature play with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, that would come up short. The Kansas City Chiefs defense did show a lot of glimpses of promise, making big stops in the first half. Of course, you got your leader, Eric Berry, who made his return. Mm-hmm. But, of course, then again, they kind of went back to being the enigma that the Kansas City Chiefs were. Mike, how were the Chargers able to make that comeback? They scored 15 points in the fourth quarter.
Well, give the Chargers credit. Like I said last week on the episode, I also predicted that the Chargers would beat the Chiefs. The reason why I said this, the Chargers they find ways to win, and they was down by 14 points, and they came back and roared from that 14-point deficit to win the game. And after that slow start and giving up that touchdown defense, they all of them was like, let's just settle down and take play by play, and they did. And this is why I said the Chargers are the hungry bullies of the AFC, especially in the AFC West division, because they get tired of getting beat up by the big brother over and over and over again by the Chiefs. And what happened? The little brother was able to dethrone the big brother beat down, and the Chargers came and they took what was taken for them, and they're in the spot right now they can win the division. It comes down to how the scenario play out. We'll see. If the Chiefs lose, if they win, they'll get the division lead, and they're not going to look back. So the Chargers, they offense, defense, and special teams, they play well, especially in the late seconds of the fourth quarter, which they needed a touchdown and an extra point, but they went for two. We'll get to that. On the couple fourth down crucial plays, Calvin Benjamin was balling. I mean, Phillip Rivers could not throw a better ball than what he did. I'm like, Calvin Benjamin with reflection, had to look quick and catch it for a 16-yard gain. Bam, catch it for a 20-yard gain. So Calvin Benjamin stepped up big on two critical fourth down plays. Also, you got to give up to Mike Williams, second-year wide receiver out of Clemson. When Keenan Allen went down for injury, he stepped up and showed out big. And so they got a touchdown. And how you get that wide open on a two-point conversion? I'm like, have you ever seen a wide open two-point conversion? I mean, I've seen people catch over like that, but that wide, and that's on the Chiefs' fault because there wasn't communicating and too many mental mistakes. It seems like a lot of good teams that lost was either mental mistakes and penalties, pre-snap penalties and all that. We'll get to more about that here on our next team. But the Chiefs had that game won, and they came back and got beat. And when the Chargers went for that two-point conversion, I said, no, go for the one. The coach was like, in his mind, we're going for two. If we lose, we're losing. We're not here to tie. We're here to win. And they got that two-point conversion. That boosted the confidence. That's what the Chargers need, that spark. And congratulations to the Chargers. They win. And the Chiefs, they got a tough one in Seattle. We'll talk about that. They have to go back to the drawing board and go back to the fundamentals. Defense, their run defense is their Achilles heel.
Oh, man.
They're not going to make it in the playoffs if you're giving up that too many yards. It's happened with the Baltimore Ravens. They barely snuck out with them. It's happening to the Chargers. They got beat, and now they go on the road to one of the toughest places to play in NFL in Seattle, that 12-man stadium. We'll talk about that. How will they defend the run? We'll see about that.
I mean, everything you said I thought was on point. The thing for me with the Kansas City Chiefs is if you look at the losses to the Patriots, you look at the losses to the Rams, you look at the loss to the Chargers, the toughest opponent for the Kansas City Chiefs for me when I watch these games is the Kansas City Chiefs. All three of those losses, they should have won. You look at the Rams game in LA. You had a wide open interception and you can't come down with the football. You lose that game. You look at the same thing with the New England Patriots. I don't understand how you shut out Tom Brady in the third quarter and then your defense lets up in the fourth. You look at this game. You had many opportunities to break away and you beat yourselves. And to me, I don't feel like it's anything that anybody's doing strategically to counter the Chiefs or anything like that. It's literally that they beat themselves. Offensively, you're not going to stop them from scoring. Like, to me, I found it hilarious that people were making a big deal because they only got held to 27 points. In a football game, 27 points is a lot of points that you scored on the number one defense. That should show you by itself that they can put up points, but it's their defense, like you said, their run defense. I'm telling you, their defense could traumatize the second grade classroom. And I done said that many times. Their defense is an issue. Maybe with the presence of Eric Berry back in the lineup, maybe that will provide some sort of a spark. But if they don't get that defense together, I agree with you. They're going to have troubles in the long run.
Yeah, it is a big issue going forward. And the thing about the teams against the Chiefs offense, they're finding ways to stop them. They're finding ways to pressure Patrick Mahomes. You have to come in the middle, and that's the last 2 times that good defense did that. The Baltimore Ravens did that, was to succeed. The Chargers did that, came out to the middle and stopped and sacked Patrick Mahomes, works succeed. So they got to get that issue fixed, or they could be going home early in the playoffs once again.
And once again, we'll talk about the Kansas City Chiefs later in the episode as just like Mike mentioned, they head into Seattle. So once again, it doesn't get any easier for the 11-3 Kansas City Chiefs. The second matchup, the New England Patriots would fall to the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 17-10. It's definitely seemed more like a defensive game in this one. How was Pittsburgh able to beat New England?
Well, Pittsburgh has, you got to give credit where credit's due. Pittsburgh outplayed the Patriots. Like I was saying against the Chiefs, they got tired of being bullied by the big brother, and the little brother finally stepped up and made more plays. But for the Pittsburgh Steelers, offensively, it wasn't their best game. They barely snuck it out there because they knew that they should have lost this game, because the Patriots defense, despite giving up 17 points, played pretty damn good. In the second half, 3 points. That's it. The only thing that held the Patriots back, in my opinion, was the offense, because the offense was getting separated, separation in the passing game. You had a lot of pre-snap penalties. That's uncharacteristic, like from the Patriots. They had 14 penalties on total, and most of it was on offense. False start, holding, false start, just the little things that matter. And that's what kept the Patriots out of scoring a touchdown. Then Tom Brady throws an uncharacteristic interception, which he admitted he should have took the sack and went another down, and they probably would have scored a field goal. And on the touchdown that Pittsburgh Steelers scored, Stephon Gilmore wasn't on Antonio Brown. He was on Washington, and Jones was on Antonio Brown. That shouldn't happen. You should put Gilmore on Brown, because Gilmore held Brown in check the whole game. And I'll tell you another part. The rookie, undrafted rookie from Maryland, J.C. Jackson, he held Juju Smith-Schuster in check for 4 catches for 40 yards. That is pretty damn good for a rookie cornerback. Just thrown into the winning fire. He's undrafted. He's Malcolm Butler 2.0 and then some, but you still got to give Malcolm Butler credit for that interception in the Super Bowl. So, but J.C. Jackson, this kid is special. He is living up to the hype. When he's thrown to the rules, he's been producing. He almost had an interception at the end zone to where Ben Roethlisberger was throwing to Smith-Schuster, where he came out with it, but he couldn't corral it all the way. So if he would have had that interception, that would have been a game changer right there. The Patriots would probably score a touchdown for that and won the game. But overall, if I'm the New England Patriots going to offseason, I'm not waiting until his free agent rookie deal hits. I'm re-signing him now, because you hear from the players that he's a baller, he's good, and the high praises from the players and coaches. I'm like, you better re-sign him now, keep the kid. You know what I'm saying? And for the offense, it was bad. They had, after that first touchdown drive, the offense was anemic, and they was on the goal-yard line and had a critical turnover, and Tom Brady threw that uncharacteristic interception, and everybody's going to be saying it's Father Time hit up with him and all that. They just don't, I don't think so, but they just don't, nobody's getting open, and Gronk is not the same like he was. And if we're going to be honest here, and I love the Patriots, I'm a fan, but I'm going to be honest. If I'm going to have to give a grade, I give the Patriots offense an F-. The performance. You had too many penalties, and you had a critical turnover, a rare interception thrown at the red zone, and you couldn't score. And I give the defense a B+. Despite giving up 17 points, the defense gets a B+ because Stephon Gilmore forced 2 interceptions off Antonio Brown to keep the Patriots in the game. It could have been a bigger lead, but the Patriots defense kept it in the game. So we'll talk more about that in the next segment. I give the Patriots an F- offensively, and defensively, I give them a B+.
Now, I have to agree. I mean, you held the Pittsburgh Steelers to 3 points in the second half, 6 points combined between both teams in the second half.
And also, Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster combined catches and combined yardage, 80 yards of combined together. That's how good the Patriots defense play against those Pittsburgh Steelers receivers, especially the rookie free agent J.C. Jackson and Stephon Gilmore. And the defensive line was able to get some sacks and force 3 and outs and all that, but it's the offense that couldn't come through at the end.
I agree. And also, another stat, Gronk, 2 receptions for only 21 yards. Of course, they have to get more production out of him to to once again appear in the Super Bowl and hopefully win another championship.
In my opinion, they should go back to the double tight end set that was dominant with the NFL. Then after Hernandez situation, all that, they went away from the double tight end set. But I like for them to go back into the double tight end set and see where they go from there. But I do not want. After that loss, I feel sorry for the Bills and the Jets who got to deal with the Patriots. And the playoff time, do not count out the Patriots.
I agree with that. And speaking of the Patriots, we will talk about them in the second half. In the second half of the second segment. Coming up, a big win by the Chicago Bears, 24-17 winners over their arch rivals in the Green Bay Packers. Does that mean that they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl for the first time since 1985? We'll talk about that. And also with New England, back-to-back losers, which is uncharacteristic of the Patriots. Does that mean that that's a sign that their dynasty is actually coming to an end? We'll also talk about that. Stick around. We're just now getting started. Gameball NFL Endzone will return. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball Info Endzone, the Christmas edition, where the football season never ends. Now, in this second segment, the Chicago Bears have been playing pretty good football. And with this big win, that would also attest to that. 24-17 winners over the Chicago Bears, Mike. We got to ask, are they the favorite? Are they the new team that would be a favorite to win the Super Bowl for the first time since 1985?
I have to say yes. And I have to give most of the credit of that Bears defense. And money well spent when they acquired Khalil Mack. When they got Khalil Mack, this whole Bears defense changed. I mean, they've been balling. Did you see that sack that he had while not looking against Aaron Rodgers? How do you do that? How you sack a quarterback on your back, not looking at the quarterback? I mean, you talk about talent at its finest. Oakland, you're stupid. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should never trade away Khalil Mack, and I'm sticking to it. That's another topic for another day. Offensively, I still look at a quarterback, Trubisky. Will he hold them back from a Super Bowl title? That remains to be seen, because if he continues to get better and not make any stupid rookie mistakes, even though it's his second year, but technically he's a rookie his first 4 years as a starter. So if he could get better and improve on the passing game, be consistent at the running game, and not turn the ball over, the sky's the limit for the Bears. But a lot of people think that Mitchell Trubisky might hold them back. But he's playing good ball. He just got to get better and not throw stupid interceptions. Learn how to take the checkdowns and all that. But overall, I can see the Bears going to the Super Bowl and winning because of that defense and Khalil Mack and the crew, and their linebackers sideline to sideline. I like that rookie linebacker they got in Smith, Roquan Smith from Georgia. He is balling. He's a sideline to sideline player, making sacks, making interception, all that. The Bears lead the league NFL forced fumbles turn into the touchdowns. That is huge for a defense you want to be successful with. They beat the Rams and they beaten the Packers. They beat a lot of good offenses as of lately, and the Bears got the number 2 seed and possibly could look at the number 1 seed depending on the Saints win or loss coming up this week. So we'll have to see overall. This is and they did clinch the division first time since 2010. The sky's the limit for Chicago Bears. If they continue like this, they'll be a dangerous team in the playoffs, especially with that defense.
I'm not gonna lie, it's nice to see teams like Cleveland have success. Teams like the Chicago Bears, like we're talking about now, have success and look legitimate and look like contenders again. But I agree with you that defense. You could talk about that all day long, and the Raiders, and that's just something that I don't think anyone will ever be able to wrap their heads around with the whole Khalil Mack thing. He's played fantastic, and like you say, he has basically changed the culture of that defense in Chicago. But
money well spent.
Very well spent. I agree with that 1,000%. The next question, Mike, I got to ask you, this is about your boys, the New England Patriots, like we talked about, back-to-back losers, which is uncommon when we talk about New England and back-to-back losses. That's unheard of. You might catch them here and you might catch them there, but never on a consecutive basis. With that being said, Mike, though, does that mean that their dynasty is coming to an end?
No, I think it's an overreaction, and I think people are overreacting, wanting to drop the ball, bam, 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 bam. Is this a different Patriots? Yes. Is this going to be a difficult test? Yes. But in the playoffs, who you trust more in the playoffs? Tom Brady and Belichick or anybody else? I'd rather take, long as Tom Brady is still playing and Belichick is still coaching, I take them all day. Until that ends, I'm still taking them. And a lot of people was like, there's a cliff for Tom Brady, he's about to fall out. No, it's just that teams that start playing better and the offensive weapons that he has couldn't really do nothing against the Pittsburgh Steelers Sunday. And Gronk is not the Gronk that we once knew anymore because the injuries started taking its toll on him here and there. And it's just not your typical Patriots, but I will not count them out. 9 times out of 10, I'll bet my money against the Patriots. When it comes to postseason time, they're going to be scary. They just need to fix the stuff they need to fix to get better. And I think the offseason, I think they should go after interior pass rushers to help out. I think the secondary is legit, and they should stay with the secondary. It's just the interior side of things, and they'll get better after it. Offensively, the offense has to get better. They got to learn how to get separation for receivers. They need big plays from the offense. If they can get big plays from the offense and the defense keeps doing what they're doing, I don't care if they have to go on the road, whatever, they can win because they're experienced and they've been there. When they're back against the wall, they really perform. Like I was saying in the first segment, I feel sorry for the Bills and Jets who has to deal with the Patriots because they're going to play with a pissed off mentality. They're going to play the world's against us and all this, how you ever say against all odds and all that. So they're going to really play with the chip on the shoulder. And the game on Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 2 critical drops to Julian Element, that really hurt them. That was a momentum changer because they was rolling on the chain. So I feel like against the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they had less penalties and not critical drops, they would have won that game. And we've still been talking about them as a potential number 1 seed. That can still happen, but a lot of things has to happen. So then they can still get the 2nd seed because the way the Eagles play against the Rams, they got to play the Texans, and we'll talk about that. So, no, I do not see the dynasty coming to the end. It's just that the issues they need to work on and get better at. And long as Tom Brady's playing, Belichick is still coaching, I'm still going to ride with him. And I'll put my money on the Patriots all day. I'd rather take them than take any other team, because not only because I'm a fan of the team, because they've been there and done that, and they know what they're doing, and the experience will lead them to that. So this might be a different path, but maybe this could be the way that they go. Maybe they need this, and when everything's against the wall, I think they'll thrive off of it. So no, I do not say the dynasty is over.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, but I would make these 2 points. Number one, it's the regular season. I mean, you know how people make a big deal no matter what sport, especially when you beat the best. Or if someone that's an underdog is made a couple of good strides, that's what makes sports media what it is. They make stories out of things. This is a good story to talk about. The Patriots losing back-to-back. I don't think the dynasty's over. I mean, they're going to lose games. I mean, in sports.
It happens.
Yes, just like, okay, with the Golden State Warriors in the NBA. You look at how these teams are being built. They're being built to beat the Golden State Warriors. Teams are being built to compete with the New England Patriots. That's just what it is. They're that good that on a weekly basis, they're the best. So what's going to happen? You're going to get the best out of everybody. And you would want that if you're the best. You know what I'm saying? If you're the best, you wouldn't want anything less than that.
But at the end, they will always be there.
Yes.
And when it counts.
I mean, it's the regular season. I'm saying pump the brakes like you usually say. I'm agree with you on this one. Pump the brakes. It's not the playoffs. Slow your roll, everybody. And I agree with you. I'm saying this as a Chiefs fan. I'm gonna put my money on the Patriots myself when it comes down to it. Now I'm a root for the Chiefs if they were to meet up, but what I'm saying is outside of that, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna throw everything in with Tom Brady and Belichick myself. Mm-hmm. With that being said, that's gonna conclude the second segment. Coming up, we're gonna give you the top 4 matchups to look out for in Week 16. We got a lot to talk about. We will talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk about the Steelers and their tough matchup against the New Orleans Saints. We know they just came off a big win by the Patriots. Don't get no easier. The 11-2 Saints are coming into town. And with that being said, Santa Claus, hit them off with something. Yeah, no.
Hey.
Yeah, no. But it's going down. Gameball, NFL Endzone. We'll return in a moment.
Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Be back for the third segment.
Yes, sir. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball, NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. What? Jingle bell, Batman spill, Robin leg and egg, whatever that song is. I'm just trying to get that. I haven't heard that song in years, so I ain't gonna quit my day. I'm gonna quit my day job, so singing's not for me. I'm just having fun. Jingle bell, Batman smell, Robin leg and egg, Batmobile lost the wheel, and Joker got away. Hey, man, those were the good days when you were kids. All right, let's get to the next segment.
All right, the Week 16 matchups, the top 4 to look out for, starting with the Baltimore Ravens and the Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers are obviously coming off of a big win in Kansas City, 29-28. The Baltimore Ravens not playing bad football themselves. What do you like about this matchup with the Ravens and the Chargers?
Well, both defenses identical, but one runs a base 4-3, the other one runs a 3-4. It's just this, they're the same similarities. They're both disciplined, but it's going to come down to which offense makes the more plays against each other's defenses. The Baltimore Ravens, they can play with anybody despite the record. They got the number 1 overall defense, and when Lamar Jackson took over as the starter, the offenses kept rolling, especially the running game. It's been effective. That's going to be a challenge for the Chargers defense. And how are they going to play off against the Ravens, because they're coming off a big emotional win against their arch rival on the road. So we'll have to see about that. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter. Which team can make the least mistakes offensively and defensively to win this game?
Well, that's going to be a good matchup. Man, it's going to be a good matchup. Mm-hmm. Houston Texans and Philadelphia Eagles. Mike, what do you like about this one?
Before I get into it, after seeing how the Philadelphia Eagles played against the Rams last night, I'm going to say it. The Eagles should sign Nick Foles to a long-term contract and make him as a starting quarterback and trade Carson Wentz.
Agreed.
I ain't got nothing against Carson Wentz. He's a good player, but he's been injury-prone back to his college days. And right now, you got to trade him, get valuable for it, because teams are starting going after the quarterback. So if I'm the Eagles, I'm going to roll with Foles, because Foles can produce. And it seems like the offense plays better when Foles is in there, and the defense step up their game to another level. And for the Houston Texans, they barely snuck out New York alive with that win. It shouldn't came down to last minute touchdowns. I mean, you're going to have your games here and there, but it was the New York Jets. Come on. They got to do better than that. If Texas do that again, they will lose this game and potentially lose the second seed.
All right, big matchup.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's going to come down to which team makes more plays at the end of the fourth quarter, which offense is going to step up. That's where I'll go with that.
The Eagles, with that momentum, and we talked about this last week, if I'm not mistaken. We did talk about
Nick
Foles.
And they still can win the NFC East if the Dallas Cowboys lose their last two games. It's still wide open.
I do not want to hear that, but
I'm being real.
It is possible. The Pittsburgh Steelers, big win obviously over the New England Patriots, but it does not get any better. They got the 11-2 New Orleans Saints. Mike, go ahead and tell them about this matchup.
Well, would the big win of the Patriots play when the emotional win? Would that play into the against the Saints? What I mean was that you have a big emotional win over the team that beat you for a long time. Mm-hmm. How can you carry that over to the Saints? Because like what I was saying previous episodes, when Saints are at home in that dome, they perform. Yes, they put on a show. So Pittsburgh Steelers got their work cut out for them, because now they're a half game ahead against the Baltimore Ravens. So if they lose, if the Baltimore Ravens win, the Baltimore Ravens will lead the AFC North Division, and Pittsburgh Steelers will be in the hunt because of that one draw that they had against the Cleveland Browns. Yes, it was, if I'm not mistaken. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got to perform like that, or else they can kiss their season goodbye, because you're coming in against the New Orleans Saints that can ball. So can the Pittsburgh Steelers repeat what they did against the Patriots? We'll find out and see, and I'm going to go off of that.
All right, enough said. We're going to make some predictions about this game and the other three here momentarily. But before we go into that, the Kansas City Chiefs looking to bounce back from their loss at home to the Los Angeles Chargers. A big test for them on the road against the Seattle Seahawks. What do you like about this matchup?
Well, it's going to be very tough, and the Seattle Seahawks had lost a very close game in overtime on Sunday against their rival, the 49ers. They're going to be at home, and it's a big primetime game. And this year, primetime games, the Chiefs are 0-4. They lost against the Patriots. They lost Monday night against the Rams. They lost against the Chargers. Not 0-4, 0-3, excuse me. So this is their fourth primetime game. Can they live up to the expectation? Because you're going to the toughest place to play in the NFL. That 12-man stadium is going to be loud and crazy. They're going to be ready. The question is, are you going to be ready to bring your A game? Because you got Seattle, who's playing very good defense and have effective running game. They play old school smash mouth football. And the key thing that's going to be in this game is time of possession. Can Kansas City Chiefs win the time of possession against Seattle Seahawks? We'll have to see. So the Chiefs offensively, they got to score quick. and they got to be consistent. They can't score field goals. They got to score touchdowns. The biggest part is the Kansas City Chiefs defense. How will they stop the Seattle Seahawks three-headed monster running back? You got Davis, you got Carson, you got Penny who can ball. You also got Russell Wilson who can ball, who can get out situations if he need to. And also you got Doug Baldwin, who is playing phenomenal. Then you got Tyler Lockett, the version of Tyreek Hill, but he's a better route runner, in my opinion, than Tyreek Hill. Gets good separation in that. I'm not knocking anything on Tyreek Hill. He's a very talented player, but I'm talking about consistent route running. Tyler Lockett is best at that. So we'll have to see, can the Kansas City Chiefs win the time of possession battle against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle on Sunday night.
All right, we're going to find out. And with that being said, that's going to take us to our predictions part of the episode. And of course, even though our brother Luke couldn't be here, you guys' predictions on deck, starting with the Baltimore Ravens and the Los Angeles Chargers. Who y'all got?
Luke has the Los Angeles Chargers winning. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens because they still feel like they get to win the division if Pittsburgh Steelers lose. So everything's right on them. And Lamar Jackson is playing good football. He's still learning, but so far he's playing good football. He's going to get better as a passer. And you talk about Phil Rivers getting pressure and sacked by the Chiefs defensive line. You're going to have to deal with the Ravens defensive line. They get pressure everywhere, and their running game is going to come through. I just don't see Phillip Rivers and the Chargers overcoming this one against the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm going to say the Ravens win on the road to get the win against the Chargers. So I'm going to say the Ravens win 27-24.
Man, this is going to be a good matchup. I agree with you just because if they gave the Kansas City Chiefs problems, I can see them beating the Chargers. And Lamar Jackson's been playing fantastic. Terrell Suggs, even where he is in his career, still playing fantastic.
Oh, still playing at elite level.
I call him Terrell Suggs in Harmony.
T. Cecil.
But, man, I got the Baltimore Ravens as winning this game as well. Second matchup, Houston Texans and Philadelphia Eagles. Who y'all got?
Philly, 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 Philly. I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles, and Luke got the Philadelphia Eagles as well. With Nick Foles as coming back as starting quarterback, I don't see them going backwards, and they're at home against the Texans. I see the Texans slip up at this one, and I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles will make a few more plays than the Texans to win that game. And the way that they play against the Rams, they'll play exactly the same against the Texans. I'm going to say the Philadelphia Eagles win the same exactly score, 30-23.
I got a question for you, though. Did that game make you think that they're no longer the Drunkles?
Well, they still, if they went out, I'll own up and I'll apologize and said they're no longer the Drunkles. I won't apologize for the Dallas Cowboys, friends. Let's just state the facts that they are who they are. But if the Eagles win, I'll man up, I'll eat my crow, and I'll take everything I'll say back.
I feel bad for Carson Wentz. I'm not going to lie, because you could tell, even going into the beginning of the season when Nick Foles was still their guy, you can just tell that offense is tailor-made for Nick Foles. Mm-hmm. Let's just call it like you see it. Carson Wentz, before he went down last year, he's a good quarterback. And part of me still believes that he still can be. But I agree with you. This is Nick Foles' football team. This is his offense. And you can just tell they were a lot more confident. They're a lot more comfortable. There was a new surge of energy. With that being said, I got the Eagles winning this game as well. I'm going to say they're going to win. Nick Foles will throw for a touchdown this game. So I say he throws for at least 3 touchdowns in this contest. I say they are going to win by a score of 28-14 is my winner of the Eagles. The Saints and the Steelers. Who y'all got?
Where's this game be playing at?
No.
I'm going with the Saints. At home in that dome, it's going to be loud, and Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be too much for them to overcome. So I'm going with the Saints to win and win big at home. I'm going to say they'll win 38-24.
Man.
Because when the Saints play at home, they perform, and it's going to be too much overcome for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Has to deal with the two-headed monster running backs, Kamara, and and the other running back, Mark Ingram. Then you got Mike Thomas, the receiver, who is balling. It's just too many playmakers for the Saints offense against that Steelers, so I'm going to go with that.
I agree with you. New Orleans at home. It's almost playoff time, so Drew Brees is in great form right now. I don't see Pittsburgh. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of confidence and a lot of energy going into this one because they beat Pittsburgh, the Patriots. But, yeah, I think too much Saints myself. I'm going to say they're going to win 35-21 winners at home.
And Luke has the Saints win as well.
Saints go marching on. All right, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Seattle Seahawks. Who y'all got?
Luke's got the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm going to go with that. I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks. When you play in Seattle, it's a different environment. That crowd noise and all that, and the way they're playing defense. This is not the Legion of Boom demons that we used to see, but they're still playing good defense. And I feel like they will win the time of possession battle, and the Chiefs' defense will be too much for them to stop at the running game. So I'm going to say 28-24, the Seattle Seahawks win at home against the Chiefs.
You know, those scores of the Chiefs, they're always close. They're always close. There's never no break, which is a good thing, but at the same time, still ain't good if they lose. But, Mike, we have talked about this. I've preached this. We've both talked about this since at least week 4, and that's the defense. And for the first time, it only took them to week 15 for everyone else to finally see what we've been talking about. And their defense finally got put on blast, and they finally got held accountable because they let Phillip Rivers and the offense go on the surge and score 15 points in that fourth quarter. Maybe that encourages them to step up. Their leaders back in Eric Berry. Justin Houston is there as well. Their core is there. Can they show consistency? They showed promise in that first half defensively. They were getting many stops. They were all over Phillip Rivers. Can they be consistent on Russell Wilson? It's going to be the thing for me. Honestly, I think because finally the Kansas City Chiefs defense got put on blast, you're not going to stop the Chiefs from scoring. You're not. I've said this for 15 weeks and ain't been wrong yet. You are not going to stop them from scoring. What that defense does will predict this game, however. I'm going to say this. I will say it's going to be close. Because, look, if Tyreek Hill would have caught that pass, we'd be having a different conversation. I think the Chiefs have a chip on their shoulders because they let one get away. And this is Patrick Mahomes against Russell Wilson. This is basically like two almost identical quarterbacks. So that's what makes it exciting in itself. But I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes is going to put up better numbers than Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is an effective quarterback, but he doesn't put up superstar numbers. Granted, he doesn't have all the weapons. He's still a great quarterback. But
you don't need to with effective running game, though.
I mean, that is true, and that's where that defense is going to come into play. I think the Kansas City Chiefs will respond because for the first time the whole season, it only took them 16 weeks, they finally got called out. They finally got put on blast. I know that Justin Houston and Eric Berry is going to respond to that, especially having their leaders back. They're going to have them prepared. I'm going to say they're going to win by a score of, I'm going to say 28-21. I feel like they'll find a way to get it done in the fourth quarter.
All right, social media, you can follow us on Facebook, Gameball College Kickoff / Gameball NFL Endzone. You can email us at gck.gnfle. You can also follow us on our official Twitter page at gck_gnfle. You can follow your boy, all caps, at Gameball_Mike NYKE. You can also follow us on our Instagram at gck_gnfle. Get your merchandise you get on our clothing line websites, hoodies, workout kits, whatever, at tokendesignstopeka.com/gameball. That's TOKAN designstopeka.com/gameball. That's token, not toucan, folks. Like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube. My right to your left, your red to right, vice versa, on the YouTube channel at gck.gnfle. When you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that ring dinger notification button to get alerts and updates on our postings, and I'm going to pass it on to you.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Jovel Entertainment. That's JOVELLE Entertainment. For inquiries and much more, jovelentertainment@gmail.com.
You don't forget to follow our other brother, Luke Harnett, Facebook and Instagram as Luke Harnett, and on Twitter it has Luke Harnett 2, folks. Before we get out of here, I'd like to give a big shout out to the Facebook group, sports group that we are associated with, and also All Day Sports Talk, and all the other sports Facebook groups, Best Damn Sports, Sports Rehab, sports debate topics and all that. So all the Facebook groups that we're affiliated, the sports ones, and All Day Sports Talks, give a shout out to that. And also, we want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and all that good stuff. And our thoughts and prayers go out to the less fortunate ones who can't celebrate Christmas through hard times and all that, and be sure to try to donate to your local charity organization to help those out. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I agree with you. Also, one more time, for any information, if you have a son or a daughter that does want to play youth football going into August, remember the Lawrence Red Raiders. Look up Mr. Leon Beckham, the head football coach. Thank you to all of our supporters. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Happy holidays to you, my brother.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, shout out. And also, got to give a special birthday shout out to my daughter, Blessing, who will turn 12 on December the 18th. So I give a shout out.
And we also want to thank the men and women that are serving our country,
Yes.
Marines, Army, Navy, and our other brother, Lou. He's served in the Navy as well, so shout out to him.
Yes.
And hopefully you make it home safe and sound in one piece. I'm Michael Riley.
I'm Marcus Young Genius Jenkins.
This is Gameball College Kickoff Christmas edition, where the football season never ends. Peace, and we will see you in a couple weeks for the New Year's edition. Send us away, Santa Claus. Hey. Peace and love, everybody.